Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is podcast number 1 of the Gray Space. My wife's chewing gum because she doesn't understand that chewing gum on the radio is not a good. Hey, this is a learning process.
It is. It's out.
We're going through it.
Guys.
We're trying to figure it out. See what Jennifer's all about. How you sounding in your headphones? Do you need any more volume in your headphones? Or are you good?
No, I sound like myself. I'm fine.
Sounds wonderful. Wonderful. Where do we begin? Where do we begin?
I think that we should introduce ourselves.
All right. Well, let's start by introducing yourselves. What's your name?
My name is Jennifer Dunbar.
Nice to meet you.
Flat as that. No middle name.
No middle name?
Not one whatsoever. I do have a maiden name or so, but
Did you have a middle name?
Never had a middle name. It's not on my birth certificate. Never had a middle name.
Oh, it's not on your birth certificate. That's what's up.
I had 2 last names, and Mr. Dunbar here is trying to, pull it out of me, but no, not a middle name. It's 2 last names, not a middle name.
All right, so we are not going to be discussing her real middle name. All right, anyway. So that's my wife, ladies and gentlemen. In case you ain't know what you was dealing with, you're going to hear what she wants you to hear. I don't know if that's just my wife or if that's wives, but we shall figure this out. This is why we're on the Gray Space podcast. We are here to figure this out. So welcome again, audience, listeners, friends, family, supporters, everyone who is out there in listen land. Thank you guys for tuning into the Gray Space podcast.
Yes, thank you.
The Gray Space podcast. Let me say that one more time.
It.
The Gray Space podcast. And my wife,
Jennifer Dunbar,
deeply appreciates it. So here we are working on our tandem, our tag team, our 1-2, our Styles P and our Jadakiss, trying to figure out how to go back and forth the right way. Episode 1 could be bumpy, but it will be fun. See, what's funny is she don't understand that I do this all day long, and this is her first day in my threshold, so she's going to have to get home before I let go, because she don't want to have to go home and see what happens when I roll down. But anyway, let me pause right quick for the cause. Before I have to take this whole thing on tour. But
Did
listen,
the listeners understood what he just said? Because I didn't.
But listen, let's slow it down so they can listen around town. In all honesty, the Gray Space. Okay. Why are we here? We talk a lot. We are a couple that actually enjoys each other. We fucking love each other. I love her
so much.
I enjoy having children with her, raising a family with her, and it all started from actually a place that is a little bit more commonplace nowadays in society. But obviously, when we were doing it, when we first got together, it was less common. It's now definitely more of a normal scene, and that is blending families and really accepting someone who has a past before you while you're considering having a future with them.
Amen.
So this is my wife. We're speaking about Jennifer Dunbar. Her name was Jennifer McDonald when I met her. She was
no middle name.
She was as beautiful as she is today, and I think that she actually might be getting more gorgeous as I look at her in the moment.
Thank you, sweetheart.
But the Gray Space podcast is exactly what I consider life to be until you figure out what life is for you. I feel like, and this is just me, I'm one half of the Gray Space, but my opinion on the Gray Space is all of the time that you spend in your life between an adult asking you as a child, so what do you want to be when you grow up? Until the day that you've actually felt like you've grown up. To me, that's the Gray Space.
Okay,
and
amen.
I believe I'm truly living in the Gray Space now, because as much as I want to be a grown up, I'm not there yet. Though I have children that I'm raising, I believe I'm doing the right thing and raising them the right way, but I know there's plenty of room for improvement in me within my life. So this is my Gray Space, and I feel like there's no better way for me to try to explore, understand, and really conquer my Gray Space and own it than with my wife, with my partner, my life partner, my better half. And I'm calling her that because they told me to call her that. But honestly, when I think about it,
because I am.
A brother like me really is appreciative to have a better half, and you're it. So thank you. Round of applause to you, better half.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Nah, no doubt. All the niceties aside, that's what the Gray Space means to me from the bottom of my higgity folk shiggity.
Appreciate that.
You already know. So, what does the Gray Space mean to you?
So, the Gray Space to me is just the term mulatto, which is what I am. My mom, being Caucasian, also indigenous, Native American, and my father being African American, also indigenous, a different tribe, but Native American. It's just, the idea of not being good enough for some crowds, while those same things that are not good enough really aren't good enough for the other crowds. And, growing up in life, I just found myself by myself because I never totally, what's the word, babe? You're a walking dictionary.
That's your word. These are your feelings. I can't tell you how you feel.
I never related to anyone, literally to anyone, even to this day, to anyone. My husband and I, we have day-to-day discussions on topics that, he has his point of view, but very separately I have my own, and it's because I literally am always in the gray space.
That's an interesting aspect and point of view for it. The gray space can mean a lot and should mean a lot to a lot of people, and that is our hope with going out on a limb and starting the podcast. This is a lot about me breaking out of my shell. Surprisingly enough, a lot of you actually know me, who I hope to be listeners of the show. You guys will know me, have known me, and if you're getting to know me, it may seem a little bit strange that I seem shy, but I'm pretty much a sheltered guy, more so than people really would understand. I'm a pretty private guy.
Yes.
I like to keep things to myself, but I certainly enjoy the human spirit and interacting with people. And when that happens, it's such a genuine, natural thing for me. It's why I'm not good at social media and Instagram and Facebook, because I'm living the moments. I'm not ready to share those moments, and I'm always caught looking silly. I don't have a real good post face on the internet because I look like the jackass I am, having a good time and having fun. So that's what it's about for me. But with this, I hope that we allow all of our listeners a chance to be themselves, explore their gray space, and embrace their gray space, and understand that since we don't know when the last day is going to be unless we plan on creating that day for ourselves.
Crystal ball.
You are supposed to try and live as though you never know when that's going to be, and your whole life should be about figuring yourself out. So with that being said, we're going to move on to an official topic. What we're going to talk about, the next topic. How about this? Since we just told people the name of the podcast, The Gray Space, something simple. How do you spell the word gray? Is it with an A or an E?
I mean, when I think about the context in which we are using the word gray, I think about the color itself. So I am going to go with Gray. Not Grey. I'm not even sure that actually has a definition in the English dictionary, but Gray as in the color, because me personally, and my understanding of the gray space and what it means to me, I don't consider myself either or. I consider myself gray as in the color.
All right, let's research that. Quick question: how do you spell the word greyhound? Greyhond. And how are you spelling the gray space?
Gray.
My question to you is Gray. Why are you spelling it?
So.
Yeah, go ahead. Go to your interwebs and figure this out.
Yes, like you have. I'm
on my notes. I'll show the camera. It ain't nothing. I'm on notes, but you want to know where I'm at. I'm just really good at this.
Oh, snap.
I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. You heard?
Yeah, he is true to this.
So she want to know about I'm on the internet. No, I can be, and I will be. I know the answer to these list of questions and scenarios that I have ready for us. But
yeah, he's so prepared, but it's okay because
go
I'm
ahead.
all natural.
Talk to me, girl. You are all natural. Big shout out to my man Ral, now that I think about it. Out there in Queen. Yo, Ral, what up? My G.
No, Ral. You would be nothing without Big Lee in the house.
Shout out to Little Lee. Shout out to Little Lee.
Even though she's only 4 feet tall, Big Alicia in the house.
Little Alicia, yeah, I mean.
Y'all would be nothing without her help with Big Zay and Little Chase.
Oh my good Lord.
Big Alicia.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is what the gray space is about.
So back to the color gray.
Come on, talk to me.
Seems as though the internet has it spelled as Grey. So I'm going to take the time to explain that I have a coworker with the last name Gray.
Spelled
Gray. So I'm going to blame it on her because nothing is ever my fault.
And you know what's funny about that? You have a lot of coworkers who actually live in London.
Yeah.
This one doesn't, does she?
No, she does, actually.
And it's ironic about that because the London spelling is traditionally recognized as EY. And the American spelling is traditionally recognized as AY. But here you have a Londoner here in America with the opposite.
Right. I'm going to have to school
And the
her.
bottom line is you don't know either way.
Wait, but can I also say that on Safari it says Gray, Grey, and Gray, Gray, are both accepted in the English language. So, you know what? America and abroad, I'm just going to take this time to introduce to you my husband, who is always full of jokes, has something up his sleeve. And I'm beginning to think that this was a trick question.
So she just figured it out, ladies and gentlemen. The gray space, as it comes full circle, I'm doing full circle with my hand, ladies and gentlemen. As this comes full circle, the gray space for us as a couple, is the acceptance of what we know to be true. Whether you spell the word Gray or Grey, you know what I'm getting at, don't you?
Let me ask you a question.
You know why I'm in this, don't you? You know what this is all about.
How do you prefer to spell it?
I prefer to spell it whatever way works for the compromise, the greater good of us, a.k.a. the gray space.
American abroad. He is in full costume theatric form right now.
Oh my God. Yo, welcome to the Terror Dome. I was telling her back at home. I've been telling her back at home that she not built for this lifestyle. She ain't ready for me. She's like, I'm a Gemini. I'm ready for whatever. But when we get in here, I show her you know what?
Nah.
As a matter of fact, this has been a great 15 minutes. I'm lying. It's 14 minutes and 15 seconds. We're about to go live. We're going live. We're going to hear from the people. See what's up, see how she feels under the pressure.
This is our first thing. We did not market this. So who are the people? Hey, don't make it a tag team of your homies because I will knock them all. I don't care how big they are.
Hey, nice to meet you. My name is Quan Dunbar. I'm your husband. Do you not think I have a plan?
I'm about to educate all your friends. Did you not think I had a
plan for all this? We are going live. Should we go IG or Facebook?
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
We're going IG live. Since you do less on IG, I'm going live on. We're going live on the gram. We are going live on the gram right now.
I don't even have a gram. Insta account or account.
Oh God, I love this. Going live. I don't have a gram
account. Who cares?
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you're not doing nothing at work, or if you're hanging out at the crib, if you want to talk to us live, you want to chime in on this, we're about to make that a possibility.
Now, this is where I get interested. Like, how do you know? How do you get it to go live? I want to get stuff to go live.
Okay, well, you got to work on that. I'm going to work on that. As a matter of fact, while I decide how live we're going to go, why don't you tell the story of how we met? Isn't that a wonderful story?
That's a great story for our introduction. I would love to do that. So, dang it, I was just looking at the picture too. I wish I would have brought it. So, hey, I just shouted Big Alicia out. I just did. Can I tell you that Alicia and I, we met each other, and we always said that no matter what, whomever we find ourselves dedicated to, we absolutely have to make sure that they are really, really good friends, right? So, case in point 1, let me tell you how God works. Case in point 2, I came out of a not so good relationship, and I took time to pray, and I prayed to God. And I know this is not answering your question, but I have to share it. I feel compelled. I prayed to God himself. I prayed to God to please send to me whomever he created for me. whomever. And that's just it, cut and try. A lot of times I feel like a lot of my girlfriends are saying, hey, God, make him tall. Hey, God, make him look like this. Hey, God, give him this amount of money, this credit score, this type of house. God, please give him all. No. What if God did not create a tall person for you, or a person that has an executive type of position at work? What if God didn't create that? Don't tell God or put all these stipulations into your prayers. I pray to God to send to me whomever he designed me, because I trusted in God, how he designed me individually, and hence would know what I could deal with. So I prayed to God for months for this guy, right? So fast forward. Big Alicia, big short Alicia, I just shouted you out. I love you so much, Alicia. I had just started a second job, so I was working 2 jobs, and it was Alicia's birthday coming around, and I was just so tired. It was my first week with that second job, and it was Friday, and I was so tired, and I really did not want to go out. I didn't, but I loved her so much. I had to stop by the house and tell her, hey, listen, I love you, and I'm happy you guys are going out, and happy birthday, and God bless, and many, many more. Well, at the time, she shared a 1, 2, 3, 4 bedroom house with 3 other girlfriends, and one by one, each of them, hey, wear my shoes. Hey, put my pants on. Hey, here's a towel. Hey, put my shirt on. Hey. So took a shower, got dressed, used their makeup, and went out for Alicia's birthday. There was like 13 of us together that night, and that's another thing we could get on later on another date. Ladies, it's really important. It's so important that you establish good female relationships, good, genuine, sincere female relationships. But anyway, about 13 of us out that night, and I was so tired. I was enjoying them dancing and conversating and just having their good time, but I sat on the bench for the most part. I was just so exhausted from working. And it was dark. Club Play Lounge, I believe, in Astoria, right, babes?
Word.
So yeah, it was dark.
But what happened though? Because we got all. You gonna tell them every detail?
Yes, I am, because you asked me to tell my version of the story, so that's what I'm telling.
Good Lord, why did I ask you? All right, go ahead.
So it was dark, and I was sitting there for a while, and over to me comes a man.
Ayo.
Could tell by his deep tone, low type of voice. Yeah, so he starts talking to me, and it's cool, I was in the point in my life, remember, I was praying, I wasn't interested in men asking me for my number or taking me out or phone. I just wasn't interested in any of it.
So what were you interested in?
In just focusing on God and following the signs and being a better me.
So how in God's name did you meet me?
Telling a story.
Hey, yo.
So, so he walks over to me, and we're sitting down for a while, and he did not ask me for my number. He didn't give off any of the preliminary questions or whatnot, so I felt very comfortable, holding a conversation for like an hour. But the first thing he asked me was, hey, where's your man at? Did he step off to the bathroom? I was like, no, I'm not here with a man. And I was a little annoyed. And he responds with, I know. That's it. Done. I was hooked. Into the conversation, at least. I was so shocked, like, how do you know? Just so.
I might have been watching. Might have been plotting.
Yeah, but me, I'm tired and I'm not really paying attention. So I just thought it was really hilarious. His response, I thought it was really hilarious. And because I'd rather be sitting there talking than standing up dancing around, he was really great. The conversation was so awesome. He did not make me feel comfortable. Not one single bit. Not one. I can't believe how comfortable
You mean, it didn't make you feel uncomfortable is what you meant to say.
Right.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because I'm like, hold on.
I'm sorry, guys. Yes. He did not make me feel uncomfortable, not one single bit. I just sat and talked to him. We talked for like an hour. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. So fast forwarding past the conversation, again, I was not in the time of my life and space where I was entertaining men. I was just focusing on my religion and trying to follow the signs from God, And he was getting ready to leave. He gets up. He's like, my friends are getting ready to leave.
My wife's telling stories over here.
My friend's getting ready to leave, and I'd like to have your number. So, back then, I don't know if it's, true now because I'm not really on the scene. I'm a little older now. But back then, the minute you pulled out your phone and, started dialing anything, the light on your phone would go off in a very dark space. And that made me uncomfortable. So I grew hip to that, and I was like, no. You're not going to pull out your phone. You're not going to create this light white. You're not going to do any of that. You have to remember my number. You have to remember it by heart. You have to memorize it. And if you memorize it, call me later. Guess what, guys? He memorized it.
You got lucky. I had just got to the spot and I ain't drink yet. You heard? We usually pregame, and I usually get busy. But, I was sober, designated driver in the building. Holler at your boy. Anywho.
He remembered it. Whatever. Just got in a spot. No, whatever.
Nah, I'm lying. I didn't just get in a spot.
Yeah, he's in full costume right now.
I made sure to work hard for it.
But yeah, he remembered it, and he called me. What happened was he called me as soon as he left, which was like 15 minutes later, and I answered my phone, and, because again, I just went back to sitting there, I answered my phone, and, it was him. So I know my phone number was locked in there, and we took it from there. We talked for about 2 weeks. I was a single mom. I have 2 daughters, so I'm very, very cautious on the men I allow in my life first and foremost, because I'm very, very weary of allowing men into their life. So we talked for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks on the phone, just 2 weeks on the phone, and then not even 3 years later, we're married with our first child.
Jesus Christ. Now, how many kids do we have total?
We have 4.
Oh, man. Yes. How many years we been down? How many years these toes been down?
10. Almost 10.
10 joints with this lady.
So
we hold
excited.
it.
A full
I'm trying to hold it down and make sure I rock out to it's 1,000 for as long as I can live. But in all honesty, my question for you now, for these people, since we got people watching, which one of your kids is your favorite?
So, I know this is a sensitive topic for you, Quan. I love you so much, and I do like to know I know you. But your mom, we're going to get on your mom because...
What?
So when I first met your mom, I just let her know, listen, my daughters are older, I'm scot-free, I'm not interested in having any children, and she was depressed by what I had to say. She wanted grandchildren. You didn't have any. God bless your heart. I don't know if you don't have any. I'm still waiting for the knock at the door. But, yeah, she was depressed. So yeah. Anyway, she told me that, we got pregnant, and she was ecstatic, lover. She told me that you raise your daughters, but you love your sons. And I didn't understand that. And I did not know how she understood that, being as though she didn't have daughters. But now I understood it. When I had my first son, I understood it. Oh my gosh, my little Nico. I love him so much. He's my first son, and he couldn't be a more perfect, bigger brother than anyone out there, right? So I remember one time I was about 6 months pregnant, and I called your mother crying.
I'll make sure to come out with the bomb shit. Don't worry.
I called your mother crying. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm somewhat very religious and spiritual, and I understand the idea of speaking to the women, influential women in your life that love you unconditionally. I don't talk to my girlfriends who don't live the same type of lifestyle. I can't seek any advice in them. I don't speak to my sisters. They're younger. One is older. I don't speak. I speak to women who are influential. They have wisdom. They have years. They have knowledge. They're educated. They have experience. I spoke to your mother a lot more, and I'm going to start. I spoke to your mother a lot more, even though you did not agree with it. You didn't even know it. I spoke to her a lot more than you'll ever realize. So I called your mom crying one time. I was about 6 months pregnant, and I told her, I don't want to mistreat this one because I just don't understand how I'm going to love him at all. I love my Nico so much. I've raised my daughters, and I'm not done raising them. God knows. Mia is going into her second year in college, and Naisha is an entrepreneur, and I'm not done raising them. But you raise your daughters, you love your sons, and I love my Nico so much. I didn't understand how I would have enough love in my heart for another little boy. I just did not understand. I called her crying. I called her full of tears, and she said, don't cry. Somehow God just gives you more love, and I did not understand it, but I trusted in it because she had 2 sons.
Right. And how did
and she was right.
It worked out for you?
She was so right. She was right.
I gotta come give you a hug and a tissue. I see you over there moved, and
she was right. My Maze, I love him so much. I love him so much.
So he's the number one. To answer the question, is he your favorite?
So to answer your question, Naisha's gonna give me a heart attack.
Okay.
She's gonna give me a heart attack one day.
That's a fact.
Mia is a constant headache.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
This is getting better.
Nico, he's just so full of surprises. You never know what the hell he's going to do. I'll probably die of anxiety.
Oh,
And Maze, he's rebellious, and I can't believe it. I know he was raised by the same 2 parents that Nico was.
I thought you were going to say raised by wolves. because that's how it feels to me sometimes.
He's freaking rebellious. I'm probably going to pass away of shock.
From the things he climbs on and the things he does.
And they're so different. They're so different that saying of you love your children the same, it's apples and oranges. Across the board. It's apple, and I have 4 of them. I don't love not one single one of my offspring more than I love the other. I just love them differently. I love my children. I love them. I love them all the same.
Gotcha. Well, I guess I got to answer my own question.
Yeah. So, thanks for putting me on that emotional roller coaster.
Fun. I just want you to understand something. If we're going to embark on this journey of the gray space, that is the gray space, we're going to have to do it like this. We're going to touch issues, topics, and situations that are going to pull at our heartstrings, at our souls. And if we really mean it, you might just experience some tears, some laughter, some hugs, some joy, some sadness, some sorrow, a little bit of everything.
And
that is what it's about, right?
We're real. We are so real and true.
But listen, I want to commend you. First of all, I want to say it's tough out there, so a slow start is not your fault. This is the name of the game, baby. Entertainment is a split-second apparatus. Every second, you better be firing on all cylinders. So there you go. Welcome to the Terror Dome, and I'm glad you see it's not as easy as it looks. But also, I want to say, for your first time out, you're killing it, and I'm glad you got a chance to open up.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Nah, you're all right. I love you so much. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come on back after that. I'm gonna let you gather yourself. We're going to regroup, and you're going to come back live with us on the Gray Space Podcast. We really appreciate you listening. We really appreciate all of our loved ones, friends, family, business associates, and just anybody that has a positive spirit for us, because, you know, that's what this world needs more of. All right? Peace and blessings. We'll be right back. Bow. We back up in this biz naive. Thank y'all for listening to the Gray Space podcast. Thank y'all for listening to the Gray Space podcast. Thank you all for listening and tuning into the Gray Space podcast. We really appreciate you, because a podcast is nothing without its listeners. Honestly, conversation is nothing without another person to talk to. A set of ears is always more important than a mouth, because if nobody can dare to listen to what you're saying, you might as well be talking to yourself. And then who needs to hear that, right? That's in your brain.
What is it? Conversation is the exchangement of words between two or more people?
Yeah. Right. If you're talking to yourself, that ain't a conversation. Yeah. So that being said, we back on the Gray Space. And we talked about family. We talked about how we met. We talked about our family being a blended family, especially coming from the fact that you had children before we met, and then we were blessed enough to have created 2 children of our own since then. We have a family of 6. We're looking for a new house right now, y'all. We about to step
Possibly
it up.
Another baby.
We looking for a new house right now. We about to step it up for our family of 6. You know what I mean? And anyway. 7's heaven. I heard 7's heaven. So she trying to send me to heaven to new baby on the way, I guess.
You can't get him yet, Ma.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, what we're doing here is I'm taking this opportunity to come out of my shell. My wife has been one of my biggest supporters ever since the day she met me. She's always felt that I was a pretty good performer ever since the first performance, as the story that she just told you about is your man in the bathroom and how we met joint. That was obviously a plan I cooked up wonderfully, and it worked well.
Whatever.
Look at your guy, you know what I'm saying? It was the bomb.
God,
but hey, yo, big shout out to my cousin Ali, who's on the phone. Shout out Ali, though. Shout out to the people.
Yo, that's super dope, man. That's super dope what you're doing, brother. Because you know what's so funny? I was gonna tell you, why aren't you doing that? Until just
that
now.
Must be Carl.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you, family, and I'm doing it, and it is absolutely my pleasure, and it is a gift from God. Wife said, "Love you too, Carl."
Love you too.
You know what I'm saying? It's a gift from God to be able to do this. You heard? And it's a family affair. I'm out here. So this podcast, cousin, is called The Gray Space. And here's my alarm going off right now, telling me to check in right now at the CSB where I'm at, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which is where I host my show from. Big shout out to them, because they are the reason that you guys are all able to hear what we're doing.
Blessings.
The Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Thank you.
They're located in Westbury. They're located in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. They have 11 campuses up and down the East Coast. So if you're trying to get your broadcast on, if you're trying to get your voice heard, if you're trying to let your words reach the people, let your content reach the masses, this is an opportunity for you. Make sure you check out www.gocsb.com and tell them Quan sent you, you know? I'll take care of you. Anywho, so we're here on the Gray Space, and this podcast is about everything that happens in life. Life is no plan. The plan is always to plan well, but everybody who knows about planning, event staging, anytime you put something together, Murphy's Law is something's going to go wrong. So the plan ain't going to go according to plan. So you better learn how to plan to have a better plan. And that to me is the gray space in life. That means everything is not black and white. Everything is in the gray. There's always a sliding scale, and the gray space is that scale. So we discuss life, we discuss living, we discuss love, we discuss family, we discuss religion, we discuss politics, we discuss sports, we discuss nothing, we discuss nonsense, we discuss locker room talk, barbershop talk, salon talk. It don't matter. You talking about it, we rocking with it. But the bottom line is you're gonna get a raw, pure, and unbiased perspective. Whatever you hear from the Gray Space podcast, we can guarantee you one thing: authenticity. Nothing that I say has to do with what you might think about it. Because honestly, what you think about it don't mean shit to me. Because I don't care about what you think about me. I used to barely care about what I think about me. And my wife finally got me to understand that I should care enough to spread some of my madness with the world. And here I am. So we're on the Gray Space. And we started out with the wild emotional start, and it's how we needed to start. Y'all need to get some context and understand who we are. But then we really need to talk about why we're here and how we decided to be here. Come out of my shell. And it's her fault.
Babe,
it's her fault. So if you wanted me to come out the shell, and I definitely know where I'm going with this, so you go ahead and explain to them as we hold phones at each other like real retards. Excuse me, I'm not even allowed to say that. Like real mentally challenged people. You explain to them how and why this day came. And it's not Friday 420. I wish it was 420 so bad, but it's 419. It's the mantelpiece. Y'all dig
What's
me?
420?
No, see, that's why I'm married to her. I love her. Go ahead.
Well, babes, before we broke, though, or is it break?
Yeah, before the break.
You said that you were going to give your version on how we met.
Oh, how we met was I was
oh boy, here we go.
I was in Queens with my guys, right? Yo, shout out to my man Diff, Kevin Diff.
Look at him.
Hey yo, Diff. Remember we was on our bikes earlier. We was like, we about to go
Kevin.
to the club tonight to get laid. But we ended up not doing that. I ended up staying home because I was like, let me keep it light. Just kick it in the crib. Do nothing, but it was my homeboy's brother's birthday. So big shout out to Chris Espinal, Jarrell,
like
Chris,
yes.
all of y'all, Mikey, all y'all brothers from Secret Society. Big shout out to y'all. All of y'all are part of this because Chris was out there with me and Kevin that night, and they dragged me out to Mikey's birthday party. Big shout out to Mikey because without Mikey, I never would have met this woman because I came to Play Lounge to celebrate. I swear I was gonna be there as long enough for people to have enough drinks for me to go to the bathroom and never show back up. The usual move, the black Irish exit. Shout out to Diff. Shout out to Diff one more time.
Big Kevin.
I mean? But it never happened because you caught my eye across the room, and the rest is kind of history. In a room full of ambient light, you had a glow like I've never known.
You see this?
And I just felt. You ever seen a bug? You ever seen a mosquito get zapped? You ever seen?
Yes.
Just with the goofy eyes floating over. Bang! I gravitated to your light. You zapped me, and here we are. You know what I mean? So.
And this is what keeps my heart pumping.
I'm appreciative, and I love it.
Words are like his little accessories, toys, background check. He is a professional marketer.
And she learned how to flatter me with flattery about my flattery and my words over the years. So this is that double quantandra. She pulling a double quantandra on me.
Or is he?
Come on, man. I know the game, but that's why we fit as a fiddle. We made for each other. I really appreciate you. And this is a lot of fun to me. So again, the gray space, I wouldn't have done this, right? I had a podcast idea. It was called The Flip Side. And the flip side is really what the gray space ended up being to me, title-wise. But the flip side, it was just so much more detail-oriented. I would have had to explain it to you a little bit further. Gray space is what it is. Everybody knows what gray space is, and it's open to interpretation. And of course, it has everything to do with perspective, and that's what life is to me. Perspective. Wherever you're sitting in the room, that provides a different perspective. It provides a different angle. So we can all be in one room looking at one particular object in the center of the room, but depending on the angle of which we are facing in that room, we may see a completely other side of what is quote unquote the subject or the object. Is that correct?
Correct.
And again, another example of the gray space and another example of how life is all about interpretation.
Yes.
Going into areas of the unknown, exploring and searching for understanding, and that is what our relationship is with each other. And I want that relationship with the world. I want to be able to say, yo, I get that, I like this, and this is why I get that. Then I want to be able to say, yo, I don't get that, but this is why I don't get that. And then I can decide whether or not I like something or not. I shouldn't not like something because I don't get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally
I shouldn't not like something because I don't get it.
You should first try to understand it.
And I had to try and understand you. I thought I knew women.
How did this backfire? No.
I thought I knew women. I put the G on you, scooped you up right quick. You've been scooped like ice cream.
First of all, no. You had to remember the phone number.
Stop it, Big Daddy King. You've been scooped like ice cream. Look, you heard how the voice went deep. But look.
It's tone low.
yo, Lee, let her know, Litos. Let her know, man.
What happened?
She been scooped like ice cream.
That's all. He's laughing. He's not ad-libbing, with vocabulary words or anything.
Like ice cream.
No.
Anyway, the bottom line is my wife has always impacted. She's always. I don't have the type of ego that's on the loose, running loose like a wild bulldog or a pit bull through the neighborhood. I have the ability to pit bull through the neighborhood, but my wife understands. I choose to be.
I don't care where he goes. I don't care. Just come home safely.
I have the ability to wild out, but it's not what I want to do. But she's telling me I need to wild out on this content, on this media.
He does, because he has the ability.
She's right. I've been BSing and I've been playing games, but I'm not doing that no more. I'm out here with y'all. And honestly, the best part about the gray space is everybody out there who has listened, will listen, or get a chance to listen, if I met you before, you have a guest spot on this show. Because you and I both know if we kicked it, we done kicked it. You heard me? I don't really rock with too many people I ain't kicked it with. You heard me? So if I kicked it with you and we rock, we done kicked it. You heard me? So that being said, the gray space is going to have some revelations for us all. But the beauty of it is there are so many professionals, business professionals, entrepreneurs, CEOs, leaders. What would I like to say? I would like to call them creative engineers. I would like to call them people who honestly see forward thinking as a backwards mentality. That's the type of people that these are. Is that there's no box that you can put these people in. They say the world is ours for the taking, so much so that it might not just be this world. It's the universe. It's the galaxy. And I appreciate those types of people. And that's who I've known and met and been blessed to come in contact with and keep contact with. So you're going to hear from some cool looking old white guys, some very uncool looking old white guys, some cool looking old black folks and white folks,
American,
some Spanish folks, some Asian folks, guess what? It's adobo, it's gumbo, it's sazon, it's everything. You're gonna catch it all around here. It's gonna be a pot of wonderful, and all these walks of life, all these people are professional excellent. They are slices of human excellence and professional excellence. And God, by the grace of God, I was put in their lives, or they were put in my life, or we were put in each other's lives. And I'm grateful to be able to have them here on this podcast to spread stories, to spread wisdom, and to spread knowledge, and to spread truth for all of those out there seeking it. So the grace space is going to provide you all of that if you give us an opportunity. This is day one. This is our opening. This is our rollout, and honestly, we just testing the waters. I'm dipping my toes in the pool right now. So right now, the water feel good. You heard me? But I want to submerge myself, and I want y'all to come with me. Pause. So let's rock out. You heard? We're gonna take another break, and then we'll be right back on the Gray Space Podcast. The Gray Space coming right back. You looking good? I'm looking good. You looking good? I'm looking good. You looking good? I'm looking good. And we are back. We're back on the Gray Space. This is your host, QD, a.k.a. Quan Dunbar, a.k.a. Quality Dope, a.k.a. Quite Disgusted, a.k.a. Quick Delivery, a.k.a. Handsome Man, a.k.a. Mr. Party All the Time, a.k.a. Who Got 5 on it. My wife hates that.
5 on what?
Nothing. I was just kidding. About? Nobody got 5 on it. This is in 2020.
Well, what were they always talking about?
They used to have 5 on it.
5 on what?
5 on the dime.
5 on a dime. So they were just saying who's going 50-50 with me.
Hey.
On what? They said on
A. On A.
Oh.
They call me. I'm Arthur Quanzarelli. Hey. Black Morris. Wow.
Totally.
Styles Bundy. What? You do. Archie Crump. I'm spitting flames at us. I be feeling dumb. And when I rock up on the mic, I'm Charles. My next question to you.
Questions.
Day drinking. For it or against it? Are you for it or against it? Day drinking. My Christian wife who doesn't curse.
Generally speaking, as a day-to-day type of habit, totally against it. Okay? Totally against it.
But is there a circumstance that you'll let your guard down and you won't be totally against it?
When you took me to DR and we don't have to worry about being responsible, then that's totally fine. We're not going to talk about how irresponsible you became, but yeah, that's totally fine.
I don't know what she's talking about. I've been to DR a few times, a bunch of times. Shout out to the Dominican Republic, all the great people there, and all the great people that got me there. Big shout out to Hallie Lorber, who is going to be a future guest on the Gray Space. She is family, friend, associate, business partner / absolutely wonderful person on the planet. So we're going to have her up here on the show. Her, and if I'm lucky, her husband as well, Adam Lorber, who runs all of the operations for the Staten Island Yankees. So again, we've got some interesting people in our lives, wonderful professionals, but also wonderful family people and family friends who would love to come and share some of their experiences, some of their knowledge, and some of their access to the world to you. Because I tell you what, as I've been coming up and as I've been blessed enough to travel a lot through business and through work, I realize as I move around how much I really didn't understand about the world because my world was so limited where I was, you know? When you stay in one spot and you don't get to see the world, and I guess kids nowadays get less of that with the World Wide Web at your fingertips, but seeing a video about something, clicking like and all that is not the same as experience it. So experience has been something that's been wonderful, and spending time with other walks of life have really shaped the way I'm able to view my own self, my own people, other people, and really find the common ground in a situation where you are the oddball, where you're the odd man out, where everything around you is the norm and you're not.
Gray space.
I had to figure out how to exist in that gray space. So again, it ties it all together, man. I really love what we do here in this podcast. That was a great callback by Jennifer Dunbar, the matriarch of the gray space family.
Aww.
Yeah, she's loving it. So answer my question. Day drinking. What is your choice of beverage for day drinking? Is it beer? Is it liquor? Or is it wine?
Okay. Not beer. I'm a lady. Not liquor. Don't really go there ever. So it's going to have to be with wine. Wine.
Yes. Do you fine. You know what I love about wine? All the alcoholics find a way to act like it's cool and it's good for you. You know, it's okay as long as you have a glass of red wine.
It wasn't that was what was served at the last dinner?
Wine? I wasn't there. I don't know.
Well, if you believe in what you read, then it was served at the last dinner. So it's okay.
The last thing I read was the National Enquirer.
You know what? Done.
Oh man, yo, you gotta love it. Damn, this has been so much fun. The Gray Space is we're going to come to you every Friday. We're going to record every Friday. Hopefully, as time goes on and we get a chance to build our following, we'll get some live listeners to tune in. Today, we had about 10 people view us live on the social medias, because I haven't even been on social media. I just popped up yesterday or last night or something like that. Decided, I'm doing this today. And so...
That's a pretty good number. Spontaneously speaking, very nice.
I was like, wife's right. I'm do stuff.
Hubby.
So I was on my gram today, and I think I got 10 whole people to look at the beginning of this podcast. And my wife was depressing the shit out of them, making them scared and cry and all that. And I loved it. I love that y'all got to feel what my life is like sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can know that my personal gray space at home, this is my lady. Look,
I'm a crier,
and she's talking fast right now. Usually she talks slow, than this. She's talking speedy guns out right now. I'm proud of her for being out of her shell, making me come out of my shell. So again, it's been rough, it's been wild, but it's been fun. It's been eye-opening. It's been revealing.
I love it.
Honestly, it's been inspiring.
It's us.
I'm ready to do what we got to do. And the Gray Space is going to bring you more wonderful content. We will definitely have some structure beginning next week. What is that, the 26th? That is April 26th, Friday.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back. We'll be back live with episode 2. We're going to hopefully have our cameras ready, make sure that everybody's ready to join us on the interwebs live, and we will slowly build this family together, because honestly, my family, my friends, and my loved ones have been my support system since day one.
Yep,
Big shout out to my mom, R.I.P.
Yes,
Deborah D.
Mom,
I love you. I miss you.
Much.
Big shout out to her parents, the Stantons.
Hey, fun fact, right?
What up?
Both of our mothers' names are Deborah, spelled the same exact way.
Word to Big Bird.
Yay.
Fun fact. But yeah, man, and that's what it's about. We are a family-oriented family. If it's one thing that I understand, is that everybody out there is cool. I want to impress y'all. I want to be liked. I want to be loved. Everybody wants to be accepted. All that's fine and dandy. But God put you on this planet to do something specific, something intentional, something with purpose. And that purpose is up to you to find. It is up to you to dig out and seek that purpose. And once you understand it, it is up to you to grasp that purpose and go at it with reckless abandon. And I implore you to do so as I begin this journey today. So thank you again. Welcome y'all to the Gray Space, and we will see y'all in the future. Peace and blessings from my wife and myself.
Yes.